It's expensive.
The regular meeting of the Governing Board of Education is called to order by myself, Dr. Joseph Komorowski, at 4:00 p.m. on Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 at the District Office Conference Center. Approval of the agenda. Are there any requests for changes to the agenda? I will take a motion in a second to approve the agenda. And with that, I'm going to pull action item O11. That will be pulled from the agenda as it does not properly align with our current bylaw 9271 Code of Ethics. I've already spoken with the board member about this, 2 board members actually, on process, so that is pulled from the agenda. Do I have a motion and a second for any other changes to the agenda? Mr. Schwartz?
Give me a little latitude to speak before I do my changes. I would appreciate it.
Depends on the latitude.
I just want to say something to the entire board about the new year.
Okay, I'd say if anybody wants to speak, I'd give us a minute. I think it's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we go about approving tonight's agenda, I'm asking for a moment to present something for consideration for the rest of the board. I think it's a compromise that can help us start the new year on the right foot with a new perspective, an approach that I think will best serve TVUSD. I'm asking for consensus to consider starting 2026 with a fresh slate, letting bygones be bygones, getting back to the business of helping progress the educational opportunities of all our students. After the last meeting, I heard from constituents all over the city within the TVUSD committee regarding the behavior of the board and how it affects everyone. Some expressed disappointment that I didn't accept the nomination to become the board clerk. I was myself disappointed I wasn't granted the opportunity to serve as president. During the holiday break, I had the time to gain some perspective and have come to realize that my service to the community of TVUSD should be without boundaries, because to me, service is selfless. Tonight, we have the election of board clerk on the agenda. We also have some other items that I feel.
Mr. Schwartz, I'm going to direct you to board comments at the end, please.
That's fine.
Okay, any other changes to the agenda? Asking
Yes.
for a motion in a second. Okay.
I have real changes to the agenda. I have a lot of papers, and I am sorry that they're not in order.
While you're looking, I have one change. Can I?
Sure, go ahead.
We're going to go one at a time.
Oh, okay, I'll wait.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, number 1, I move to amend the agenda by removing item 4, significant exposure to litigation in closed session. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the reason I'm removing this item is because this case has been appealed, and there is no further information other than there was a ruling and an appeal. In order to get through meetings without being here forever, I think it's just that we should wait until something else happens in this case before we sit down and talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
If there's no other discussion on this item, Lene, can you call roll? We have a motion and a second to remove,
No,
to be clear.
I just have a clarifying question. Can I clarify?
We're not going to debate right now.
Well, he made a motion.
You either want to remove this item or not.
Well, okay. So according to Robert's rules, if a person makes an amendment, a motion to amend an item to...
I get it. You got 1 minute.
No, I mean, I just want to ask a question. I don't really want to debate. I just, you know, when I was looking at your rationale, I was questioning whether this should be an open versus closed session. And upon my research, I agree that it should be in closed session. I was just wondering what the end game of when the attorney comes and talks, what is the purpose? I'm not really clear on the purpose, if you could clarify.
We'll talk about it in closed session. Thank you for the question.
Okay, well, I move to amend the agenda by removing item number 7.
Steve, we're going to vote on it one at a time.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So this
Number
is a
4.
motion, we have a motion and a second to remove closed session item 4.
Yes.
To be clear, Lene, would you please, and then Lene, would you please call roll? Thank you.
Sure. Wiersma,
No.
Anderson,
Am I second?
Yes, you are.
I think we voted on the voting order.
You were second.
I think, did we ever vote? We actually voted and had, so we have to re-vote on the voting order. Because we had a majority that said we would vote in order of seniority.
All right, so my thought was ladies first. It is Wiersma, Anderson, Emile, Schwartz, then myself. If the board wants to vote on the voting order and change this recommended voting order, we can do it right now. That's my order.
So we need to make a motion to change the voting order, because last time it was in January, that's what I
We
did.
already have a motion on the floor.
Okay. Do we have a second?
So we're going to deal with one item at a time. We have one motion on the floor, and that's to entertain Steve removal of closed item 4. After that, we can entertain a second motion for changing voting order. Let's do that first. Would you
okay,
call
so
roll?
it was
Yeah,
Wiersma,
Mrs. Wiersma, it's your vote.
No.
Anderson,
No.
Barham,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Komrosky.
No.
Okay.
So now I'll entertain a second motion in a second, and we're still on with Steve because we'll get to yours, but do you have any other
Yes, I do.
requests for removal? And then we'll go one at a time.
Yeah. I move to amend the agenda by removing item 2 in information and reports, the Benitez ruling. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, my rationale for this is, again, to save time. This ruling is moot. The case was ruled and appealed, so right now the case is in appeal. If anyone wants to know what happened, I have printed out a summary of the case and what happened and the appeal, but I don't want to waste time in closed talking about something that's
It's not a closed.
appealed.
It's an open.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just don't want to waste time talking about something that's under appeal because we don't know what's going to happen.
All right, thank you, Mr. Schwartz.
You're welcome.
I agree with that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barham.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
With the discussion still being on and closed, will that simply be an opportunity to then reflect on the issue in public in a succinct manner? Is that an attorney presenting, or is that just,
We can do a report out in open session based upon what we talk about in closed session.
Okay.
On information reports number 2. No actions taken, no action will be reported out.
If anyone wants to see a summary of what it was, I printed it out.
Okay.
And you're welcome to look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz.
You're welcome.
Okay, can we take a motion, sorry, we already have a motion, a second. Can we call roll on A? Thank you.
Wiersma,
no?
Anderson,
No.
Barham,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Komrosky.
No. Okay, so the item still remains. Any other motions in
Yes.
second for you?
Yes. I move to amend the agenda by removing item number 7 in information and reports, visit to school sites. Do I have a second?
Second.
The board policy is listed there, but there's no information about what the person wants to amend or add or subtract from the policy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We don't need to talk.
Any other quick comments on this? Yeah.
Well, if you're going to look at open transparency laws, this goes back to,
Would you please start the timer, Lene? Yeah, I'm going to give a maximum of a minute. We're actually here to approve the agenda. We can talk about justification for pulling on or off during the actual item. The power over a vote is so solid that we can talk about this in open.
Dr. Komrosky.
So if you want to, you get less than a minute and your time's starting, and keep it brief. Thank you.
Okay, but let me just, according to Robert's Rules of Order, an amendment to the agenda is a debatable item.
That's right, and I've given you the time limit, and it's brief, and it's 1 minute,
but-
and your time's counting down.
Dr. Komrosky, we have rules of debate.
You're right.
So that's two.
And I have flexibility as the leader of the meeting, as board president, and you have less than a minute.
Dr. Komrosky, we have board bylaws that say that I get 2 minutes twice around for rules of debate.
Not when we approve the agenda.
Okay, all right. So,
This is your third time around, board meetings in a row. I would just ask for professional courtesy.
Okay.
It's just a yes or no. Do you want it on the agenda? We can debate it then in open session.
okay, but we're debating removing the item. So can I have 30 seconds?
You got 9.
Okay. I don't think we're starting off here on the right foot.
I don't think
but-
so.
but-
I don't think we are either, and
Yeah.
that's because you're, you know what? We'll give him 15 more seconds because actually 20 because I interrupted. You go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So according to open transparency rules, so that the public has an opportunity to engage with the item as well as the board members, we need some rationale here so that we know what the person wants to talk about so that we have time to think about it. And that wasn't there. And this goes back to when I did not provide rationale.
Okay, thank you for your comments, Mr. Barham. We're going to move to a vote now, and we could discuss this in open session. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, Lene, would you mind calling roll, please? And this is, to be clear, this is to remove item under information reports, item number 7, board bylaw 9241, visits to school sites.
Weir-
This was agendized by Dr. Anderson.
Wiersma,
No.
Anderson,
No.
Barham,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Komrosky.
No. Thank you. Motion doesn't pass. It remains on the agenda. Any other, Mr. Schwartz?
No, I'm good for now.
Got it. Okay, anybody else? I think Dr. Anderson was next.
I wanted to pull the coast to coast because the discount doesn't expire until February 26th. So I wanted us to just push that to the February meeting. Just one more item off.
Do we have a second?
I'm sorry, Dr. Anderson.
We have the coast to coast to decide if everyone's going to go to coast, but the discount rate it doesn't expire until February 26th. So I was just going to motion to postpone that until the February meeting. Not a big deal, just to shorten the agenda. That's
You have a second?
No.
Thank you. Okay, does anybody second this?
I don't mind seconding it for the February meeting.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Brief. Okay. Lene, would you mind calling roll?
Wiersma,
Yes.
Anderson,
yes.
Barham,
No.
Schwartz,
No.
Komrosky.
Yes.
Dr. Komrosky?
Okay, Dr. Anderson, do you have any other items?
Just to clean this up, when I took over the presidency in January last time, I made the motion to change the voting order and did it in seniority. So I just feel like going for, I actually think it'll take pressure off of me not to vote last, because that's my biggest thing right now is being the deciding vote on everything so I'm okay not being the last vote. But I think just as a formality, we should make a motion, and you should make the motion for the new voting order with a second. It doesn't need to be agendized because it's just a parliamentary procedure. It's because the
We'll
board
keep, for
motion,
now, I'll
second, and
agendize it
voted.
specifically at the next meeting, but for now, I'll vote last. It's tradition that the board president vote last. We'll keep the order that we had last time, which was, correct me if I'm wrong, Wiersma? At first, what was the original?
Seniority. Me, Jen.
Well, can I make a motion then?
No, Dr. Anderson. No, I am going to make one. Schwartz, Wiersma, Barham, Anderson, Komrosky.
No, yeah.
Right, but I'm pulling Komrosky to the end. Yeah. And that keeps within the spirit of the old voting order, but I'm voting last. Next meeting, we can go another
So
round.
can I ask a question, a clarifying question?
Yeah.
Because it was motioned and seconded and the board voted on it, do we have to take a new voting order? Because
It can go either way. We can vote right now, or we can leave it traditionally, and I'm voting last, but I have a motion to change the order. If we have a second, we could just be done with business. Keep in mind, we have a second.
okay.
Let's vote on the approved change of the order.
Can you restate the order, please?
Okay, now this is tricky, because I didn't think we were going to vote on this order, and this was provisional. The original order was ladies first, which means Wiersma, you yourself, Dr. Anderson, then Mr. Barham, then Mr. Schwartz, then me.
Okay, so what
If
is
we
the
have a motion for that, and I motion for that, if we have a second, we can, okay, we have a second for that order.
Okay.
Okay, Lene, please call roll.
Give me just a second. Okay, Wiersma,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Komrosky.
Yes, okay, this passes, so it's the original motion that we started off with voting. It's the original order, yeah. And it was, yeah. Yeah, it's good. Okay, any other changes to the agenda? We have, okay, the other motions that Mr. Schwartz wanted off, they stay on, coast to coast, 3-2, that was to remove it. That was to table it to next meeting, that's right. So with that being said, do we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as it is?
Motion. I move to, I'm sorry.
Mr.
I move
Schwar-
to approve the agenda.
Mr. Schwartz moved.
I'll second.
Ms. Wiersma, second.
We
Lene,
do
would you?
consensus? By consensus to approve it?
No, I'm going to
So we
take an
can move
open
on.
vote.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Thank you.
Wiersma,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Barham,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Komrosky.
Yes. Okay, got through the agenda. Yes. Announcement of closed session items in accordance with Government Code Section 54957.7. The board will now meet in closed session for consideration of the items listed in Section F. And see you soon. Oh, are there any public comments on closed session items? Okay, thank you.
Joe, I think you said F, and I think you meant E. You said F, and I think you meant E.
Okay, thank you. And if everybody could have their mics off. Friendly reminder,